Hello everyone, welcome back. And today I'm having another guest, and Shaz and I made at the AI Collective where I co-organized an event, and he was part of that team. And he was asking very amazing questions, and we decided to make video, get to know more about the journey, and yeah. So I'll let you introduce, and yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Shaz. I am a ex software engineer turned product manager turned entrepreneur. Currently working on an AI startup that is specifically for dental practices on helping them automate their front desk operations. And yeah, excited to be here.
So how did you like the AI Collective event?
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, I wasn't originally planning on going.
Oh.
I only went because my friend invited me,
Mhm.
and I was expecting it to be like, oh, just like you just meet up in a room and people are just talking. But actually, and I usually don't go to those because I think that a lot of times those events that you nothing ever comes out of them. But this one was way different, where people were actually pitching their ideas, and especially we live in Dallas. I'm like originally from the Bay Area, and in the Bay Area, people are always talking about startups no matter where you go. If you go to a coffee shop, if you go to the library, if you go anywhere. But in Dallas, nobody really is in that startup circle. So these events are those rare um, group settings where we can actually have that mixing of minds, right? It's one of those rare places that we meet our community. And that's kind of, where we met.
Yeah, so that was the whole idea. So AI Collective has two chapters in Dallas. One is the northern one is like the downtown, I think, Dallas area.
Yeah.
So I get to know about AI Collective at Arc of AI. And the person who was presenting that day, one of the speaker, was is still the head of the Northern America all. So she goes like, "Oh, if anyone's interested, we need more people.
Head of North America, okay.
Yeah,
For
so
that group, okay.
yep. So I made also like the Austin chapter lead, and we get to talk about it. What are they doing? They also have branch in San Francisco.
Oh,
So the
okay.
next event is going to be amazing. We are giving the audience virtual money. And based on your pitching, they get to decide in your project.
Whoa, that's smart. It's like it's basically like playing Monopoly, but for startups.
Yep. So
Dang, that's
it's going to be fun. I like it. So yeah, I'm glad you came. But when you came, were you planning to present or
No,
just to observe?
I didn't actually know there was presenting there. I just thought that it's just another networking event, and so that was my initial impression going into it. That maybe I'll meet some people, and I was not someone that would go to these events by myself. And so it was kind of one of those things where it made me think maybe I should go to more, because meeting you and meeting the other people there, um, it made me think like, wow, like these are the exact people I want to be around that I'm not around in my normal life. So
There's actually another event coming up on Thursday, which is Dallas GDG, sorry, Google Developer Group of South Lake.
Oh.
And it's going to be like a lot of people mix of some of them are in sales, some of them are in development, some of them are CEOs.
I bet that's a really good idea to even for you to go and to do these events. I feel like the people who get the most attention are the ones who are presenting, right?
There's no presentation there.
No, and there's no
Just food
presentation.
and drink.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
mingle, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that on more of these events, like I need to go to more presentation events because those are the ones that if you present and people like your idea, you're actually going to get the most networking effect, which is the whole point of the event, right? That you go and you meet people.
So far, this is the first one that I went to. The audience is presenting, unless it's on conference. And conference is like there is no agenda. People, the audience is presenting, so there is no specific agenda. Everyone is like, oh, I have this cool idea. I want to talk. Or this is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Most of the event that I went, I'm active in 3 groups. There is, I didn't find anyone like present, but there was a conference called VCon. There, the first day was like that.
Okay.
Yeah, VCon is like conversational on the virtual, like how to safely save the audio, video,
Okay.
chats, conversations. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So it's basically their startup's own event.
They're more of like that specific area beacon, but the
Yeah.
first day because there was some issue with the flight and most of the speakers didn't come, so they let
Oh,
that
I see.
just flow.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that when I went to San Francisco, I went for Tech Week.
Okay.
This like was it this year or was it last year? It's one of the 2.
Mhm.
And I noticed that the startups were actually throwing their own events, and those startups they're the ones that's hosting the event, and so everyone at the event is only focused on their startup, and I was like, that's so genius marketing. I was like, honestly, we need to do something like that. So I think more startups, like even in Dallas, like it's not really known for startups.
Yeah.
We need to have something where we have like Dallas startups actually show out, right? Like in San Francisco, when you go out on the street, every billboard is a new AI startup.
Mm-hmm.
But here, when you go out, it's like freaking State Farm. You know, it's like Allstate, and it's all these like boring companies that have nothing to do with startups or any of that culture. And it tells you about the city.
I think, but I feel like it's shifting. No, there is some hope.
I think that you have to go out and look for it. At least for me, like when I go out and I will talk about startups night and day, but I don't even find enough people in my normal day to day life to talk to about it. They're you know what they say? Yeah, that's cool. You know,
So
it's kind of like being that weirdo in the room.
when you find, like, for example, this is the area that I want to build my network, what do you do?
You know, I haven't really been a great networker, I can say. I've always been someone that is very much meet people by happenstance. If I'm there, then I'm there. But I feel like this is one of the things I learned from you.
Oh, which one?
Which is that how to go to a place and actually develop a network around you. And I think you're really good at this, and you've kind of turned it into a group that is like a support system. And I feel like I could learn from that because I want those same effects. Right? If you have a great network, you have people that you know. If you whenever you need something or you need whenever you need something, right? You can always reach out to your network, just like calling up a friend.
Yeah.
But you have to take the time to develop those relationships.
I think for me, I got lucky when I was laid off last year. I was looking for, it's like, okay, I want to go to this meetup because I have time.
Yeah.
Then I start with a Google Developers Group. Then when I go there, I get to hear about
I think you're gonna be working at Google soon.
No, they don't talk much about Googling stuff, but it was just a mingling place. But then after that, I get to know about this another group called Dallas Software Developer, and also they organize Commit Your Code conference.
Commit Your Code, yeah.
Then I win that conference. Then I get to know about like a whole new world. Like they have this Discord, which is really active with 13,000
wow
members. In the you get to know like a new like way of doing things. I did a cohort with them. There's like mentoring calls. And
mentoring calls, okay.
Yeah,
that's amazing actually.
Yeah, so then you start building up. Yeah. Then you discover another group. So for me, like when I do invest my time, I try to be at least this is the area that I want to. That's
smart. That's really smart. Honestly, like I'm like shocked that I didn't think of this through, because every job that I've ever gotten has always been through referrals, right? But at the same time, I'm like, doesn't that mean I should be doing more networking? Yeah, it does. Because whether you're a founder or you're looking for a job or you want to future proof your network, you have to just go out and talk to strangers. And I feel like I didn't have a problem talking to strangers. I just wouldn't like go out of my way to go to these events like Rashad would. And that's, I think, that the learning for me.
It definitely needs energy, and
you gotta have the energy, yeah. And
also like most, especially me also, I get to go more because I was laid off, right?
Yeah.
Because I have time. So we need, like, we wait some kind of reasons to do that. So when you're like,
you need a reason, yeah.
Yeah, usually like when you have a job, you'd be like, okay, after working, I don't have time, or you're doing your startup,
Yeah.
you'd be like, I'd rather do cold outreach instead of going out of my way, driving with this traffic.
Yeah. And
So it
yeah,
makes it harder.
it's smart. It's really smart if you have the time and you can do it. Even if you, I think now I'm gonna make it a priority because what I just learned from this cold outreach is like if you just put yourself in front of the people and you tell them what you're working on, and if it's interesting to them, those
Mm-hmm.
people will introduce you to someone. They will buy your product, or they will be like, I actually know someone who needs that," and or
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you really good advice. And so you gave me some really good advice that turned into a demo.
Yeah, another
So,
coin. Oh, I'm
yeah.
glad. So, what is your startup? Is this your first startup?
This is actually my third startup. So my
Mm-hmm.
first startup was in 2017, where the Apple Watch was first getting big, and so that we saw the Apple Watch was getting big, and I was working in Fort Worth at the time as a software developer,
Mm-hmm.
and one day I go into the office, and my coworker is wearing like this weird looking Android watch, right? And I'm like, hey, like, what's that? He's like, oh yeah, like I got this new Android watch. And I was like, oh yeah, you can change out your bands for those, right? And he's like, yeah, you can, but I don't really do it. I just keep the black one. But my wife, she always switches them with her outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And that's kind of where the idea originally came from. And so then I met this guy who was in New York, and he was selling Apple Watch bands, and he was making a ton of money. And he was just literally buying them from China and selling them online. And I was like, dude, like these are so ugly. How are you selling these? And he's like, hey man, people are buying this and they want it. So I was like, okay. I was like, and then that kind of gave me the idea. So I was like, I got the idea from my coworker that his wife wants them, but not him. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then I was looking online to see what are the options, and most of them were like simple blue color, all this stuff, kind of boring looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I bet you I could design them for women way better, and actually like target to them. And so that's kind of how it started. And we actually ended up doing really good. The first month of sales, we did 30 grand in sales the first month. Yeah,
Wow.
so it ended up doing really, really well, like very early on. Second startup was, do you have a question?
No, I got
Yeah,
a good
so
one.
second startup was during COVID, where we were, all the gyms were locked down. And so my friend, he messaged me, he's like, dude, like, yo, all the gyms are locked down. Like, what do we do? And he was like, um, you know what? We should figure out a way to sell like fitness equipment because everyone's gonna want that. And so he gave me the idea, and I was like, yeah, actually, that's a great idea. And then we basically found a supplier, built the website, and started selling it online. And it was called Gym Candy. And we basically rode that up from beginning of COVID until like halfway through COVID. But we ran into a lot of like supply chain issues because the ports were locked down. We couldn't get product out. It was very, very bad. It made a lot of sales, but it made no profit
Oh,
because the shipping times killed us. Um, the suppliers were charging an arm and a leg to get product out from China at the time,
oh, I see.
and there were so many restrictions. This product is my first. This is my third startup, and it's the first startup that is, I guess you can call it an AI startup. It's my first startup that is B2B,
I see.
and I may have a fourth startup. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the smartest people like you are always working on creative ideas, even when no one asks you to do it, right? You always have some idea. You're always working on something in the background, and I think that's the same for any great entrepreneur. They're always working on some idea. Um, they just can't help it, you know.
So how was the transition? Because you were working with software, then you
Yeah.
did product
So I was
management.
working a full time job this whole time, like this
Oh
whole time.
wow.
Yeah. So this whole time I was either the first startup I was working as a software developer or a technical trainer. The second job I had gotten laid off, but I was still work. I had transitioned into product management, so I was working as a product manager, and then after my latest job, I was working at U.S. Bank, and I worked on like a large merger for them. And after that merger finished, I basically took a year off. I took a gap year to literally like not do anything. And luckily I had the resources to be able to take that time off, and it was a great experience. But now I'm like, I gotta make some money. I gotta make some money.
So, which startup was harder, the first one or this one, B2B or the client facing?
I think the first one was. They all feel hard. I think the second one was the easiest, but it doesn't feel easy. The first one was the hardest because it was my first, but it didn't feel any harder than this one. I feel like honestly, the smart thing to do, which I didn't do, would be to do another e-commerce startup. Right? When you have done e-commerce before, you understand e-commerce, not to start from zero.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing my curiosity, it went into B2B, into AI, B2B. Oh, we should totally do this for. My dad was a dentist growing up. And so I feel like I had that connection from there. And also, I had. I had done some AI healthcare consulting where I basically was doing this for that other company I was consulting for. And that's what was like, okay, I know this is a problem. Companies are actively doing it and they're growing fast. I feel like I could actually do this better. And that's where we are. So we'll see.
So,
We'll
how
see.
do you reach your end users? For example, if it's
Yeah.
the clients or like the business owners, where do you find them?
Yeah. The first when we were doing the first startup, all the sales came from Facebook ads. We were doing Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all the sales came from that, like 100%, right? And like eventually some came from email and other channels, but almost all of them came from Facebook ads. The second one, all of the sales came from Facebook ads, right? And then when I was um, getting ready to launch this product, everyone kept saying, "Oh my God, you have to send cold email. Cold email is the best performing channel. So 8 times better than Facebook ads." So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna do cold email." And so I hired a guy who was like a cold email expert, and I was like, "Okay, dude, like what do we do?" So he basically walked me through setting up all the campaigns, setting up the emails, and it takes 3 weeks to set up email inboxes. Like literally, you have to wait 3 weeks just to get email inboxes ready. So we waited 3 weeks. We launched it, and we sent I think like we sent 1,200 emails in the first campaign, and we got like one demo from it. But we were buying the emails.
Wow.
So I was like, "Are you sure this doesn't seem like 8 times return to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll just leave it. We'll do Facebook ads." And then we did Facebook ads, and then we were, and then those were having like super high, like we weren't getting any bookings from Facebook ads, and so it's something that we're actively still figuring out. But so far, we're getting early traction with literally just picking up the phone, cold calling them, and I'm thinking honestly, probably going to some events has to be the next thing we do. Yeah.
Is AI helping you do more with this startup?
100%, yeah. I think AI is the first technology that teaches you how to use it by asking it. Like, when can you go to any other technology and just ask it what to do, and it tells you how to use it, you know? So it's, I mean, it's a crazy technology.
Yeah, I feel like more going to, because like dentists going to their events in, like you said,
Yeah.
on the outreach.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and it's like, every um this whole like voice AI category is like one of the fastest growing categories because we're gonna have the same technology we put in for um, uh, libraries, restaurants, eye doctors, dentists. It's gonna go everywhere. Where the first person you will call at a restaurant will be an AI. That is 100% gonna happen, and it will save them and make them so much money. Like right now, if I want to order Chipotle, I can't even order it on the phone. I have to go on their app. I don't like using their app. I hate apps. Okay, like mobile delivering apps. They're really annoying, right? I'd rather just call them, place the order, and go pick it up. but you can't call them right now because they don't have the manpower. So all these restaurants that don't even have phone numbers are gonna get phone numbers, and they will make millions just from that.
Some of them they don't even have websites.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, a website I can understand it, right? But not having a phone number is specifically. It's kind of like saying some people are only responsive over email. No matter how many ads they see on Facebook, they will never buy from there, right? They only respond on email. Some people only respond on text. You can send them as many emails as you want. They will never respond on email. Some people are only responsive on the phone. They will never text you back, but they will pick up your phone call. And that's what we should remember in business. That all the people that will have already that like to use the mobile app, they will use it, right? But there's some people that no matter what, they still prefer the phone, and those people are currently being missed. And it's an easy way to increase sales for any business. Like when I hurt my ear, so I like sprained my ear, right? Sprained, hurt, whatever. And I called an ear doctor, and I went through the the top 3 ear doctors on Google Maps. Ear doctor near me. None of them picked up. All went to voicemail. Only one called me back the same day. The other 2 called me back the next day. By then, am I still looking for a new doctor? No, I've already found it. Um, and I thought this was crazy to me that you have a new customer coming to your practice, they're coming to you inbound, and you're not able to even take them in because I was ready to book at that time. And I think probably I would say if I was to guesstimate, you probably have like 30% of your revenue just being lost because the receptionist is busy and it's not their fault, right? They're doing multiple tasks. Or whoever answers the phone is not there. And nobody likes those call centers. You ever have that where you're like calling a local business but it goes to a call center? Like what the heck? Like I just want to talk to the person there. It feels so unhuman. Or they have like they're in the Philippines and you're like, wait, you know, I don't get it. So yeah, we'll see.
So I think we can talk more about like what is your B2B startup.
Sure, yeah. Basically, what we do is we help uh, businesses make more revenue and increase their profits by eliminating all of the leaking bucket effect. So what that means is right now all of the clinics that have receptionists that pick up the phone, they are doing like 5 different things, right? They're maybe they are on the phone with someone already when you call. Maybe there's someone that they're talking to. Maybe they're checking someone out, or maybe they're escalating something to the dentist, right? This is in every business. The front desk is not always just sitting there waiting for the call. And so when we talk about a customer, when a customer is ready to buy a car, if they don't buy that car that same day, the next morning or the next that night when they're sleeping on it, they're thinking about it. They wake up the next morning like, I don't need it. You've
Or
lost,
they find another one.
or they find a different one, right? You've lost that opportunity, and so in the business world, they call this. It has a name. It's called speed to lead, which basically says if you um, the the rate at how fast you respond to the customer's request dictates how likely they are to buy. So let's say you call me right now, I answer in 2 minutes. Right, so not 2 minutes, 2 seconds, right? I answer in 2 minutes. Now we have a conversation, and you can, we can talk about your product. But let's say you call me and I don't answer. Then you're waiting. Oh, maybe he'll call me back. But no, I don't call you back, right? Maybe I call you back in 30 minutes. Okay, maybe we'll still connect, right? But let's say I call you back in 3 hours. You're already doing something else by that time. It's not even on your mind anymore. And so when a customer is ready to buy, they're ready to buy now, right? When they are outside that mode, like let's say we go outside of this room, we may be doing something completely different. So it's basically that. And all these businesses right now, they're not tracking it. Like the dentist is not tracking how many calls are missing. Maybe the office manager is, but honestly, it's not their business. You know, so
Yeah.
so that's basically what we help businesses do. Help automate that process, but do it in a way that feels human, where you can actually have a conversation with the agent that you're speaking to, and so that no matter what, even though the agent is not as good as a real person, right? But it's better than a missed call. It will still make the booking, and it will still be conversational. And we have the technology now that we can train the agent so well that it knows everything about your practice, and um, it speaks conversationally and like a real person.
So, for example, when you call to dentist, let's
Yeah,
say I want to book,
yeah.
usually like if they're picking, there's availability, and if you're a new client, they will have to have your social security, name,
No, no,
PII
no.
information. So,
Yeah, yeah,
how is it going to be protected? Because
no.
people would be hesitant to
Yeah, hundred
expose that.
percent. Like you never want. The short answer is you never give your social security to them. What the dentist cares about, or any business owner cares about, is that when the customer calls in, that they pick a time and that we understand what type of booking they're making. That is all they care about. It doesn't matter like if we get all the information right now. All we really need to know is like what time, what for, is it an emergency or is it like actually schedulable? Does it need escalation, right? And we just need some basic information, right? And like we fill in just the basic information. Then you get the real paperwork, either on through text or in the practice, depending on what the business wants to do. So that
Because
way, yeah,
because when I call, I need to know if my insurance is
yeah,
accepted, right? To
yeah.
know that they have to run it through. Because sometimes just the number in the insurance, especially dentists, they don't have. They have like make life, or they have to call and
Right, right,
change.
right. So the key with the insurance is that we just need to know what type of insurance did you have. So that will give us the preliminary,
Okay.
right? And honestly, you can give it the I have Delta Dental and my number is this. It's not that private, you know. So basically, the thing is that it also all depends on the dentist's comfortability or the business owner's comfortability. That if you say, you know what, I don't feel, I want to get everything. Okay, cool. We'll get the insurance and we'll get the numbers. But if you say that, oh, I want that done by the staff. Okay, that's fine. We can do that too. So it just depends on. You can do both. One is like do it on the phone, which is better, I think. The other one is just get the booking because they just want the booking.
Mhm.
So um, yeah,
That's really good. So the focus is like go for the dentist for now, then expand it for other
yeah,
business.
yeah. It's kind of like if I was to, the first time I talked to you, I was like, hey, so tell me this and this and this and this and this. You're like, wait, hold on, I just met you, right? I just want to know, like, hey, like, do we have the same interests? Are we into the same hobbies? I mean, that's the thing about any first interaction. It's just there to accomplish the first goal, which is the booking, right? Or the appointment, or whatever the business goal is. The business has a phone line just to increase their business, right? To make bookings or whatever that accomplishment is, to drive revenue. And if we can get the bookings or whatever that their goal is, an appointment, that is a success. When you go into the practice, then you can sit in that corner and fill out the paperwork.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. That's a huge phrase when you start a business, and when you're like, okay, now I'm
yeah.
recruiting and doing this. What did your colleagues, friends say? Was it supportive or like, oh, this is a
Yeah, I
huge
think
jump?
I think nobody really. This is why I don't really talk about it that much. Nobody will really understand it. Like your mom will tell you it's a great idea. Your friends will tell you it's a great idea, and you know, nobody will really, especially if your friends are not founders,
Mm.
right? Like being a founder, I would say is like it's not a special thing. It's just a brave thing. That's how I think of it. Like it's a scary thing, and so going through it tells you that the person is very open to going out and not knowing what to do.
Mm. I was actually thinking like to have this gathering, like, oh, the last event organizer, for example, like, oh,
No.
AI collective leader, I'm also Toastmaster, vice president,
Oh,
like
okay.
having, do you have like that circle of founders in Dallas? Is there like a group?
Honestly, the founders that I know are even in San Francisco. They're not even here. The only founders I know here, how many founders do I know here? I don't know many. Actually, I do know a few. I know a few, but in 1 week, I met more and made more friends with founders in 1 week in San Francisco than I've made here in like 5, 10 years.
Wow.
So yeah,
Did you take a meetup or like Luma or something they have?
yeah. I think I'm gonna be. I think that's something I should do more of
I feel like you
now.
should be,
Yeah,
or if not, maybe you can start.
I think yeah. That's a good idea. I mean, honestly, the dream outcome is to do our own events someday, and I think that would be a huge thing. Because if you're like, I think at first we were thinking national, but I think now we're thinking hyper local. Because I
Mm.
think that especially small business owners, they trust that their cousin, their friend, their aunt, their uncle, their other dentist friend, business owners, they trust people in the community. And so if you can be known in your local community, we have, I think, thousands and thousands of dental practices just in this area.
Mm.
Um, so I think we have $100 million company just here,
Oh wow.
just in Texas.
So I feel like if you have some other founders, it's easier for you to
Oh my
brainstorm
God, so
ideas
much
or the
easier.
problem, knowing
Yeah,
like it's not only in your side.
yeah. I think that's 100% true. Like, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in this business is that I started by myself and I was moving really slow at first. And then it wasn't until I started to get the people involved that were around me, like
Mm.
Rashad, Lauren, and our advisor, um, that's when things started to really get faster and we started progressing a lot faster. Um, and there are actually our advisor introduced us to a contact to set up a demo, which we may have next week. And then he also introduced us to a marketer guy that helped us with our advertising. Like it's just, I think that's become the most important thing is like the team. Like even I was telling you, right? Like um, if we go to these dentist events, like you would be amazing of a person to have there because I think that it's going to be much easier to get business when you have someone that's like so easy to talk to. People are gonna come and they're gonna talk to you, and I'm gonna be on the side and be like, yeah, like
Whatever she says.
yeah, exactly. I think you're like such a natural people person, and that's what like you want to see. Like you're very approachable, and
I feel like
yeah.
this seems like an advertisement.
I mean, hey, yeah, no, seriously. Like that's what I think. That's maybe my skill is like literally just seeing the skills of other people. you know.
Yeah,
So
I feel like that's good for building your team.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow. So, what is like the major challenge in your, other than the cold outreach, like having the sales, other than that, what is
I
the
think
major?
if you're not a veteran in the industry, it's it's simply like you have to learn all the lessons that the veterans already learned, right? And so it's it's that, and also it's just like not being afraid of doing something you haven't done, right? And so, I mean, any entrepreneurship um, venture, any entrepreneurial venture is basically like saying, I'm going to go into this space and I'm going to just get customers and I'm going to sell a product and I'm going to make money. Like, that's just what it is. Um, and so we'll run into problems that we don't really know how to solve and we have to go and solve them anyways. So it's just like, okay, this is done. What do I do next? Okay, this is done. What do I do next? Like problem after problem after problem, and you just kind of hopefully get better and better as you go. But it's kind of like your boss coming up to you one day. It's like, hey, what do you know about like you're a Java developer, right? Like, what do you know about C#? Okay, today you're doing C#. Like that's what it is. Or it's like, hey, like, what do you know about Kubernetes? Today you're doing Kubernetes. Like, it's just like all of these things, and it's just like learning over and over and over again new things you didn't know, and it's like, hey, you as a Java developer, like, what do you know about sales? Okay, today you're doing sales. Like, I'm gonna swap you with a salesperson, and so that's what it is. And trying to like be a different hat every single day or often. Um, like you strategize and then you
Mm,
execute. Both. You
yeah.
are the strategist and also the grind.
Yeah, I have to do and decide quickly. And
Yes, yes. It's painful.
one of one of the major agenda for the AI collective event last time, the one we made, was how to deal with semantic crowding and how to approach.
Yeah,
And there was like so many questions with that specific topic. So,
yeah,
what do you think, and what did you learn? Anything you would like to do after that
yeah.
discussion?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of those things that you need to hear over and over again. When someone says the word semantic crowding, like what the heck does that even mean, right?
That was my first time hearing that.
Yeah, and it's like I hate big words and I try to really avoid big words, and you know, all it means is like whatever you're doing, you should get exposure for it by posting it on social media. Because you posting on social media is exposure for you, your brand, and whatever you're working on. And so it's kind of like we were talking about, right? If someone wanted to, let's say I am a hiring manager at what's your dream company?
I don't think I have one.
Okay, so let's just say what's your favorite company?
I don't know.
Okay, let's just say Google, right?
Okay.
Let's say I'm a hiring manager at Google and I said I need a Java developer, and how would I find you? That's exactly the point. Whenever we are someone that is, whenever there's a opportunity that comes, the person who is right in front is the person that gets the opportunity most likely, right? And so it's like there may be, like, I used to be a Java trainer, right? You may be a way better Java developer than me, but I was in the right opportunity at the right time in the right position to get that position, right? And so uh, it's just like, how visible are you? That if someone says, "I'm looking for this person," are you the person that pops up right there? And if you are, then you get the opportunities. Yeah.
Do you think you will apply it for your, or is it harder, or
I
maybe it's
think
not
that,
there is no right platform yet?
well, it's just like, where do dentists hang out, right? They hang out on Facebook, they hang out on LinkedIn, they hang out in their own private circles, they hang out at these conventions, they hang out in their clinics, right? So it's like, how do you get to where they are? And so it's not even, we don't go to specific dental version of LinkedIn. We just go to LinkedIn, right? And so they are everywhere. And so if you go to those places and I guess you post content or give them some guides or solutions or basically with free help, right? People always go to YouTube for free help, right? How to do X for X. I think honestly that is the best way to do marketing. It's just also a skill thing, right? You have to also figure out what content do you post on YouTube? What content do you post on LinkedIn? Okay, wait, I posted something on YouTube, but it didn't get any views. Should I still post it? Is it still worth it? And so I think in every phase of business, the problem changes, right? In the early phases of business, which we are in, it's like all about just what. How do you get to your first 10K a month? How do you get to your first five customers? How do you get to your first 10 customers? How do you just pick one channel, one outreach method, and one offer, right? If you can just do that, eventually you will get to a position where you can bring on the help for, right? It's like, hey, I might say, hey, I need you for content. Can you help me with creating content? We want to do 2 podcasts a week. We want to do, 3 YouTube videos, and we want to give out, we want to build out guides for LinkedIn. That's something you can always do. But I think starting with all three at once is probably the biggest mistake because you still have to develop a product, you still have to go talk to customers. There's many other things you have to do. So one channel, one avatar, one offer. I think that is like the thing that will not drive you crazy.
Yeah, I feel
Because
like that's manageable.
yeah, it's much more manageable. And if you think about it, when you, let's say right now you're doing this podcast, let's say right afterwards you had to write an essay, like your mind will still be on this podcast, right? Or next thing you had to do was you had to go give a presentation to someone. It's like your mind will still be here, right? So every time that we switch a task, our mind is like still in that old task. So like one, you should pretty much only have one goal for the day. I think. I think that's
For
the
the
best
whole day.
for the whole day. I think so. Like startups have two time windows. You have manager time and you have maker time. Okay. Now, most of the time, if you are if you are an individual contributor, you are a maker. Like so you're a Java developer, right? You have to complete this many stories. You have to complete this many story points. You have these tasks, right? And every meeting that comes to you is actually keeping you from those tasks. And let's say if you have a meeting at 12 p.m. and but you have 4 hours from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., but you don't because your mind is on that meeting. I have this meeting coming up. I have this meeting coming up. I have this meeting coming up. So you can't go deep into the work, right? Especially if you have a meeting at, let's say you work at 8 and you have a meeting at 9. That first hour, nothing is going to be done because you have this meeting in your mind. And so um, I'm a big fan versus a manager. Like managers are productive the more meetings they have, right? But someone who is a maker, a developer, an artist, someone whose job is to actually get the work done, they're only productive when they have long periods of uninterrupted time. Because let's say the first hour you work on this problem, you're going deep, right? Second hour, you're starting from that first hour, the depth that you went into. Third hour, you're even deeper. By the fourth hour, you are super deep into that problem. But if any distractions come, what happens? Your mind is going back, 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 back. You're back at the shallow point.
That makes it challenging. So for you,
Yeah.
like you have okay on Mondays I do this one specific task for the
Yeah.
day.
I think I like to make my meetings start in reverse. So this is not something I came up with. It's something that I learned that if you that meetings are not sometimes you have to have them, right? Because you have to meet with someone important, you have to get some um, a, a customer in front of you, so you have to have them sometimes, right? But it's just like how do you make the time uninterrupted as big as possible so you can get real deep into the problem. And so it's like we try to make the meeting start from 5 and then come upward. So it's like first meeting slot should be 5, then 4, and make the meetings 30 minutes or 25 minutes, right? Unless it's super important. And really, the funniest thing is, instead of you meeting with them with the video, just meet with them on the text. If you meet with someone on text, but it's like still a meeting, but your full attention is on that text, I promise you, you don't have the first 5 minute warm up. You don't have the okay, I'll talk to you later. No, I'll talk to you later, right? You don't have the ending first, the 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes right there. But you just go straight into the problem, and that's I found that really helpful. Is like what can we if we're meeting like can we just meet over text, but like it's still time blocked, so it's like we still have the full 30 minutes, but just let's just brainstorm over text.
Isn't it hard because sometimes message can be taken out of context instead of like video to explain yourself, oh, this is what I meant based on the facial expression and something like that.
So give me an example.
Ooh, example.
Because I don't think that if you're a workplace, right, we're not having a personal relationship in a workplace, and so everything that we're talking about is just about the work. There is no feelings in it. And so if I say, and I think it also depends on,
The subject.
actually, I haven't found this. I guess it also, So so give me an example. When would things be taken out of context?
So sometimes like you refer I don't have a specific example from the top of my head, but
Yeah.
there are scenarios you do work with another colleague or cohort member, then you're saying something and they're referring something, but you're not
Yeah.
exactly on the same page.
I got you. So
So it makes it harder, and you'd rather have. But for that one, I heard a solution. People use video, like you said, for the specific example they're mentioning an app called Loom. Then you do
oh
that,
yeah.
you saying so if the other person doesn't have time, they can even speed up or repeat if they want to listen again. But I have never tried that one.
So Loom, I think, is really good for if you need to show someone how to do something or you need to pitch your product. I think those are great for that. If you need a brainstorm or
Okay.
the only time that you need to meet someone is I need to talk to you about something important. I need to solve a problem that needs your help. I here's what I've done so far, but I need some feedback. Or I think these are the only reasons, right? Like or you work on something that has a dependency on me or vice versa. Like that's the only reason that we would meet someone in like a workplace, right? Your manager calls you in, and this is we're talking about if if you're both equals in the in the workplace. It's like, hey, I could use your help on something, right? It's an advice question, or um, I mean, when else do we have meetings? I think no one just saying, hey, let's just catch up. It's like it may happen, but it's not really something that startups normally do. Like if you're gonna meet with someone for fun, then let's meet in person.
Oh, I see.
Like let's go and get brunch or let's go and get coffee and no work talk allowed, right? Or maybe if it happens, but uh, I found that the first 10 minutes of a meeting, everyone is like not trying to say anything with depth because the context is not developed, right? But in over text, you can actually go straight to it, right? Like normally in a conversation, what happens? People talk in circles, like big circles. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah, dude, so how was your weekend? Okay, no, it's good. And then there comes a point after maybe 5 to 7 minutes where it's like, oh, okay, so tell me about the project, right? And then they're like, oh, the project was good. Yeah, we did so good. And then it's like, okay, wait, so tell me about that part in that project. Now you're going even deeper, right? And honestly, by the time that takes maybe 30 minutes to do sometimes. So by the time you go from this big circle to a smaller circle to a smaller circle to a smaller circle, it may have already been 30 minutes. Because people are also like, do I look good? Um, are they? Did they mean that? What did they mean when they said that? All right. So that same stuff can happen in yeah, like a Zoom meeting, in person meeting. I think as long as we are human beings, we will have those because we're reading the body language, we're reading tone, we're reading all that stuff. Over text, it's just a message itself and how you thought came out, right?
So that's how you communicate with your.
Yeah, we prefer to not have any meetings that don't have any work involved. It's like the only time that we should have meetings is that when we're in the work. So like I'll give you an example, right? Let's say I need to create like 5 new pieces of creative, right? The meeting is like add creation session. So it's like if you're on the meeting, I'm driving, I'm sharing my screen, and you are the thought partner. So it's like I will throw an idea. I say, "What do you think about if we did a concept of an ad that's like a Lego story, but that solves the problem of our ICP, right, of our customer?" You'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't seen that before." And then I might say, "Oh, let me show you an example." And I'll pull up the example. They're like, "Okay, well, how would ours look?" And then we like start writing it. And then we're like, "Okay, that actually looks pretty good." And then we'll start creating it, right? And then we'll start editing it, and then you get as far as you can. And but that way, most of the time that meetings go wrong is that you're talking about the work, but you're not doing the work. Most productive meetings, you're just doing the work, and the other person is kind of like a pair programmer, right? I think that's a really really smart concept. So that way, what you ever have like an idea, then you get into it, and then the idea changes. That happens, right? And it's going to be the same thing here. Like whatever idea we're excited about, let me just pull my laptop up, share my screen, and let's just let's just create the draft right now. And yeah, it may get a little bit boring, but the real work is boring.
Yeah. So, what is like the biggest audience you pitch your idea to? Like,
Yeah, for my first startup, we did do a pitch contest, like a pitch event in Dallas. I think probably we had like 100 people there.
oh wow.
So it was cool. Yeah, no, it was at the Dallas Entrepreneur Center, and it was a cool event. And yeah, we got a lot of great feedback, made a lot of great contacts. Um, but that's the only pitch event that I've done. Yeah.
Is it the one they give $50,000 for the winners?
No, it wasn't that one. It was just like I guess it was just like for startups that want to pitch their idea in front of people. So there was no like contest or anything, but that would have been better. We should have done a contest. So honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the more you're giving, you hear feedback. Even last time, the people who present, they got feedback. And probably they will pitch again.
Yeah.
It will help you develop your.
It's a yeah. If there's any time that you can like pretty much have a therapy session where you're the one talking and no one else can talk, I think it's the best. And this is coming from like an ex trainer where all I used to do was talk and I call on people to answer questions. Like it's so fun.
Was it so? Were you running like workshop? Then
No. So I used to be a technical trainer where I used to have like cohorts of people where they would come in and we would train them in Java and Spring Boot, and Ruby on Rails and a bunch of other stuff, and just depending on like whatever the stack it was. So it was for a company called Tech Talent South, which basically was a company that helped people like get into software development careers. So yeah. Well, it was super fun.
I feel like that will help you for this transition because you have to.
You have to do a lot of public speaking. Yeah, it was. It was really fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
If someone asks is like, okay, I want to start my company, what do you suggest or recommend?
If you want to start your company, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in this field, but what I would say is like, don't start it alone. The first thing I would say, like, don't start it alone.
Okay.
There is a reason that when you go and you apply to startup accelerators, that they ask you, who is your co-founder?
Oh, they ask you that?
They ask you that. And then they prefer you, like Y Combinator prefers that you have a co-founder. They would rather you not be a solo founder. They don't like solo founders. It's very rare to get in as a solo founder, even though you have a product and you're making revenue. Because let's say we're co-founders, right? Then let's say I run into this really big problem. I've been solving it for the last 3 weeks, but I'm still not able to get past it. My motivation is going down, right? I'm getting demoralized every week, every day. I'm like, all I can think about is this problem. I can't get past this problem. Now, if I'm by myself, I will start distracting myself by doing things that don't solve the problem. I will start like self-soothing, right? I will just like watch YouTube videos on how to solve the problem, but not actually solve the problem. I will like go on a walk to clear my mind. I will go to a coffee shop and network, right? But if you're here and I have my co-founder here, they're gonna keep me grounded, right? They're gonna be like, they're not actually. It's kind of like if your friend asks you for advice on their problem, you can easily give them advice. But it's like if you were to solve your own problems, you may not know what to do, or the answer might not come as clear. It's like the Solomon paradox, right? Like we're much better at solving other people's problems than solving our own problems, because we're not emotionally tied to other people's problems. So it's like honestly that accountability. It's like let's say I was to say on New Year's that I'm gonna have a six pack this year, and I do it by myself. Like maybe I'll go 1 day, 2 day, then I'll quit. But if we're gym partners and we're going to the gym and you're depending on me to show up, like I can't let you down, right? You're waiting on me, and so that's how I think startups have to be. Because in the beginning, like nobody really knows you, and all you see in front of you is work. You don't know when you're gonna make money, or if you're gonna make money, and 99% of it is probably things you don't know how to do yet.
But there is the other side of it, like you choose a partner and it's not as productive as you thought.
Yeah,
And
that happens too. That's why
how you select.
I think the selecting part is like if I didn't know the person or I did not have the personal relationship, would I still want this person as my co-founder? Or it's like, what do I respect about the person? Those things are going to be much more beneficial than saying, hey, they are also interested in the idea. And it's like, they should probably make your life easier, right? And this is kind of like I was talking about with Rashad, is that Rashad is the type of person that no matter how stressful of a situation that he gets himself into or we get into, he's like, it happens. He's just like the most chill, wise person that he's like the most stoic person that I know. And I think that's extremely beneficial in a company, or especially in a startup. It's like someone who's like just doesn't give up. Just like they don't, they're not actually scared off by things like that. I think those are the skill set that is super important, um, and it's always beneficial if that person has like, let's say you're a technical founder, for example. Like for you, probably the best type of founder, co-founder is the one who has the skills that you lack, right? So like, what would you say are those skills? Like, what are the skills that you would be looking for in a co-founder? For me, it would probably be um, all of them. No, I'm just kidding. For me, it's like I'm like so. I feel like I'm so general, right? Like, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm technical enough. I'm like product enough. I'm design enough. I'm sales enough, but probably sales, I would still say. I think there's no better skill in a startup than sales because sometimes when I get into my product brain, my design brain, my technical brain, I start feeling like I'm making so much progress that we're doing well. We're doing well, but no, honestly, I think you gotta have someone just focus on sales.
Mm.
So, what about you?
Ooh, what kind of person I would look to have
Yeah.
here with? I actually never thought about it. This is what I would like to work as a startup. I feel like I like to be hired.
You like to be
No,
hired, yeah.
no worries about like the early parts of the startup.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't mind working with a startup company, but
Mm.
as a person who is all orchestrating all these things,
Yeah.
I feel like it's overwhelming. But now when I see last time, I was like, actually, it seems fun. I mean, like not entirely fun, challenging, but it's exciting. I think people who are excited about their project are like, okay, this is really cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's the most. It's kind of like if you were a kid, right, and you make this like really amazing drawing, right, and you put your heart and soul into that crayon drawing, and your mom tells you, "Wow, it's so amazing," and that there's no better feeling than that. And I think entrepreneurship is basically that. It's like you're playing in this in this creative field that it's like it's it's so it's the probably the only thing you can say that is like 100% because of you, right? As a co-founder, you can say this is 100% because of me. It's also 100% because of your co-founders too. But in any job, you have probably 13, 14, 15 people on your team, let's say. Is that outcome really because of you? No. Probably not. Probably not. It may be max 10% because of you and 90% because of the team. That's why it's like, that's cool and all, but you know, it's just like um, it's basically like you can climb Mount Everest or you can go on a nature trip. Like both are fun, both are enjoyable. But what do you see? Um, what when you're 75, 85, 95? Hopefully you live longer than that. But when you're on your deathbed and you look back at it, what will be the things that you regret not doing? Right? Um, I think that's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's a good one. So there's like hard days, right? There's days you go as the plan for the day, and there are other days it would be really hard. You'd be like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
days like that, what keeps you going? Other than like having co-founders, which can
Yeah, I
probably
think that's
motivate you.
probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
I think that's probably the biggest thing because let's say you lived in a city where there was no one else there. Day one, maybe you eat healthy and you're disciplined. Day two, maybe you are less you eat less healthy and you're less disciplined. Or even let's say, for example, you are the only person in your like you're kind of a shut in. You don't really have too many people that are in your community, right? Our community is actually are the people that keep us disciplined. Like if I know that if I have every Wednesday on 6 p.m. I'm going to the gym with my friend, like I'm gonna show up, right? If I know that my co-founder is actually waiting for me to complete this thing and we're gonna meet about it on Friday to discuss it, I'm gonna get it done, right? If I know that there's something I have a deadline to do it, like one of the things that's really helped me that is still new for me is having a accountability coach. This sounds like such a weird thing because I would never think, oh, like why do you need that? But honestly, it's been super helpful. It's like they kind of help bring you back down. You know, when you think like this problem is completely unsolvable, I don't think we'll be able to solve this. We should just do a different thing. Then they're like, but if you were to solve it, how would you solve it? And then you start thinking, well, if I was to solve it, then I just don't think we could. Right? But they just keep pushing you, right? They just keep asking, like, but if you were to solve it, right? If your friend was to solve this, what would you tell them, right? If your best friend or your brother had this problem, what would you tell them, right? And then you kind of get outside that mode. I think the biggest problem with any entrepreneur is that they, at least for me, we get into our mind and we think about the problem and we think about the problem and we think about the problem and after that first bad thought comes, we start going downhill. The mind starts ruminating on the problem, like I'll never be able to solve it. Not you see that investor told me that it's never going to work. Right? They were right. They've done a lot more startups than me. They would know, but they may not know. And so, in general, it could be anybody. Um, it's like that's that famous saying, right? The world is made by people no smarter than you. So why not you? Right? So that's what I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. Community is very good. Even for me, job search keeps me going.
Yeah, so important. Because it's very hard to live in your own mind, and um, we can talk ourselves out of good things and talk ourselves out into things that are just short term comfort. And if you have those people around you, then they kind of like get you out of your head. I think that's at least been the biggest benefit for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. At last, do you have anything you want to say?
I want to hear your story now.
Oh, which story?
I want to hear your immigrant story.
Oh, how I came here?
Yeah.
Oh, I came here to do my master's in 2019.
Okay.
Then COVID came right after. Like I came in October 29. Then around March there was like a lockdown, and I was in Iowa, so I ended up finishing school there. Then got a job remote. Then I lived 2.5 years in Iowa.
2.5 years.
Yep, remote.
Oh, okay, wow.
I was traveling in between, but residence wise, I was there. Then I got another job, then switched, then left from Iowa. Then 3 years ago, I came in Dallas. Then yeah.
So you've been here 3 years. Oh, okay, nice. 2023.
June. Yeah, I came in June.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So then, but I didn't try go to the meetups and more. I lived for a little in Tampa. That was like my first time going to Tampa Dep. That was my first big event. But then here I didn't do much. Few months before, like last year, 2024, 2025, I started job a month going, but it was not consistent. But now I go every single month.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So you found your community through that.
Yeah, I built. Now there are like some events. If I didn't go, they will message me like, "Are you not coming?"
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like a regular now.
Yes.
So everybody knows you.
Most the organizers.
Most of the organizers know. Yeah. That's amazing.
So yeah, that's then I ended up becoming also Toastmaster. That helps me with intentional communication. I did also acting to get better in camera.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
You did an acting class or you did what?
Yeah, I did acting class
Acting
for 10
class.
weeks.
10 weeks? Oh my god, okay.
But it's more expensive than the Toastmaster. Toastmaster, like paying $10 per month.
Yeah.
You need to have almost
That's actually
similar.
super cool though.
Yeah. So I like to learn and like feel the gap. If I have time, I probably do like video making. I like visuals. I like storytelling in general. Like whether it's like a blog or video. So it would be like more visual storytelling. Yeah, because I like visual things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a couple of courses at Frisco Library here where we're recording.
Wow.
They did give some 2 weeks or 3 weeks video editing from like scripting.
Oh.
You do record. They like two people will volunteer. I have actually
So that's how you
video
knew
that-
how to set up the camera and everything.
Not necessarily, but he's the one who told us like there is a video production room. Then I start, but the manual I experiment. I did like few videos here.
That's actually so smart though. Like even if you, I think that everyone wants to be on a podcast. Like it's just so cool to be on a podcast because we see it on TV or we see it on like YouTube. And so, especially if you were that person where the hard part of doing a podcast is number one, like finding the guests, right? But number two is like even if you did find the guests, like where would you record it? This is such a nice professional recording setup that it's like building in public. That's what it is. This is semantic crowding right here.
So this one, yeah, I get to know about that. Most people don't know like they have video production, but also like the LinkedIn Live. I start experimenting in LinkedIn Live.
LinkedIn Live.
That's actually scarier than video production because it's live. You have to.
It's cool. That's what I would say. The first time you do something,
it's so scary.
It's actually really scary.
Yeah.
The 10th time you do something, for everyone else, it's really scary. Right? And so I think that is honestly your superpower is that you've gotten through that first step where most people would never even set up these lights or they would never even get to the point to have their first podcast recording. Like anyone could technically do a podcast, but no one really does. Right? And
unless they're interested. Yeah. So that one, I actually have a guest tomorrow too, and I met her in conference, which was Toastmaster conference. It was Toastmaster District 50.
Yeah.
And she was the keynote speaker. She gave workshop, and it's actually how to make meaningful connection in in-person events. And yeah, she gave us like 3.
That's actually so cool. Yeah.
So we're doing tomorrow, and she was telling actually how she approached. Like she goes to some events with the target. Like I'm making 2 connection, and if it's like longer, she has a way of cutting, which might seem probably hard to do, but it was really good. But I made a personal like conversation with the speakers, and it will really like now because of that we get to have this one. If we didn't have that conversation, probably she wouldn't know me. Probably she wouldn't be giving me the time.
One of the coolest things that I saw is that people started using. Nobody's really doing this yet, like at scale, at least that I know of. But one of the coolest things that I've seen is like people using podcasting as a way to get in front of their dream clients. Because if let's say for someone like it's very like we talk about community, right? The people who will buy from you and support your business are your community. But if you don't know them, you can't just go and ask them to do it. But I think like if you were to have, and this honestly this is his own business idea, like Dallas business owners podcast. And you could like talk to like all the small business owners in Dallas, and they would love to come on to promote their business. LinkedIn Live.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's an idea for you right there. I mean, I would want to do it myself, but it's I feel like you do it better.
I mean, like there is resource. Like it doesn't have to be one or the other. I mean, like there are people doing it. They still people, and there might be same people willing to go to different places, so it should be okay.
Yeah.
But it's for me like my intention is not like okay to get the client because I don't even have a business.
Yeah, you're even better. You're doing it actually without the intention.
And also, like, I don't think my future employer will be seeing the video. Okay, you know what? This is what we were we will hire. I don't think they will say that.
You don't think so?
I don't. I mean, like,
I think they will.
I
If
feel
you
like
post this on LinkedIn and you post 20 of them, who's posting on LinkedIn Live?
I mean, people don't have time to watch all, like, you know,
Yes.
it's 1.5. The first live I did last week, it was 1 hour and 16 minutes. And I don't think people have time to, from the first 5 minutes, they probably will, okay,
Yeah.
we get the idea, and they probably will leave. But for that one, I have actually a plan. I want to transcribe the audio and put it on a blog so that people can at least go through it. They don't need to see the video, they can skim and decide if they like it, they can watch, or they can just read it and just leave.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a good content, so I don't want them to miss.
And you know what's even better than that? Okay, so you're right. Maybe 95% will not watch that full 1 hour, right?
Mhm.
Maybe the 5% will. And then you put, just like we talked about, right? Some people only want to order food on the phone. Some people only want to, order on the app. Some people only want to respond email. You have to actually meet them in every medium that they want to talk to. Some people only want to read about it.
Mm.
Some people only want to watch it in small clips, 5-minute clips. Some people want to watch the full unedited version, right? And so it's like you don't even need to watch it. They just need to have seen you on their screen like 10 times. Like, oh wait, I've like seen what I always see her thing, you know?
Actually, there was like a housewarming on Saturday, and it was like my master's, the people that I went to school with together.
Oh, amazing.
And I think it was like 5, 6 people. It's like, oh, I see you on LinkedIn. That was like the first conversation that was there.
Okay, I get that too.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I always see her like people I haven't talked to in years.
Yeah.
Like I'll meet them wherever I am, right? Like I went to the mosque the other day, and they were like, dude, I always see your LinkedIn posts, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
I didn't think anyone saw those, right?
And the funny part was one person was like, if I open my LinkedIn now, I can see at least one of your video. It was 3 of my videos there. Okay, my eye is crying. I don't know why. Yeah, so 3 of them, it was showing up on the screen. So yeah, people notice. You're right. But yeah, I don't think my employers will be seeing that. But okay.
You know, I think that maybe when recruiters are looking at profiles, right, and they find you in their list of profiles and they go to your profile, who are they gonna trust? The person without the profile picture or without any posts, or the person with the profile picture looking professional with actual videos of them interviewing people? They're gonna be like, that's a real human being, you know. So I think it's honestly, I think it's gonna be so helpful for you, and I think it probably already has been.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything you'd like to say, advice for people who's transitioning from development to entrepreneurship, and in general, like if they have idea of some business, how to go forward?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite of everything that you do at work, which is like at work, what do, right? You focus on getting the assigned task completed, right? Maybe the architect is the one that's figuring out plans and you're the one that's in charge of some stories, right? But actually, it's you doing the architect's job and the PM's job and the designer's job. And it's like you have to already want to do that job because that's the job you will be doing. Like no one will be telling you what to do. You'll be the one scoping it, defining it, designing it, and shipping it, and then testing it too. So it's like if you're coming from that world, like most of your life, you've been trained to actually stay in your role, right? Because in a job, if you start doing the designer's job, you're gonna be like, "What the heck?" Or she's gonna be like, "What the heck?" And it's like the exact. It's very much like unlearning all of the ways of working that you've learned, right? And so it's a big change. Yeah.
So keep in mind if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, how would I approach this one in kind of reverse?
So I would basically say like if the problem is that you want to let's say like come out with a sports drink, right? Like you want to make a sports drink and you want to go sell it, right? Like you have to um, you have to go find the supplier. You have to figure out the formula. You have to figure out your branding. You have to figure out the packaging. You have to figure out all this stuff, and you have to go actually sell it, right? Then it's that whole other problem: is do we do Kickstarter? Do we do this? And so it's kind of like you have to ask yourself that um, could I take on all the problems of my current of the business that I'm in? Um, and that's what I'll probably have to do, right? Like, how comfortable am I talking to random people? I don't know, right? How comfortable am I with ambiguous problems that I've never solved before, but without having anyone tell me how to solve them?
I see. That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and I think it's like it's really not even a development problem because nowadays you can build almost any prototype with Codex with Claude Code. It's like you can get to the prototype stage really easily, and that's honestly the most important thing for a startup, anyways. Like, what's my prototype? How do I get it in front of people? And it's like, I think that's something we're learning too. Is like 80% of it is just getting it in front of people. 20% is like the actual development of it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good luck with your
False.
startup, and hopefully the demos will turn out to
We don't
say.
expect anything. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, then.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.
See ya.